Before this story starts, I want you to remember one thing. Your phone knows your voice. But what if one night, it speaks back using it? Tonight's story comes from Fairview Ridge, a quiet U.S. town where a new telecom tower changed everything. People thought they were getting better signal. Instead, the tower brought something else. Something that calls you. From your own number. At exactly 3:12 a.m. And if you don't answer, you disappear. This is the phone tower that rings back. Fairview Ridge wasn't the type of town where big companies made big moves. The population was barely 9,000. 2 diners. 1 high school. And a whole lot of empty land. So when a massive, 5G steel tower appeared overnight on the hill overlooking town, people noticed. Not construction was happening. Not they were building it for months. It was just there one morning. No announcement. No workers. No permits filed at City Hall. Just a 200-foot black metal tower now watching over the town like a silent sentinel. Neighbors joked, must be those telecom companies rushing projects again. But others felt something else. Like the tower was watching. Not broadcasting. The first incident happened 3 days later. At exactly 3:12 a.m., every single house that faced the tower received a call. Not from a number. From their own number. Caller ID, U. Ringtone, normal. No one thought it was supernatural, people assumed it was a glitch. But when they answered, they heard something strange. Their own voice, whispering something they had never said. And each whisper ended the same way. You will understand tomorrow. Everyone reported the same eeriness. It didn't sound like a recording. It sounded like their voice, but tired. Low. Flat. Like something was wearing their voice like a mask. People laughed it off in the morning. Probably a hack. AI prank. Telecom issue. Nobody knew the calls were just the beginning. The next morning, something chilling happened. Everything the whisper said, came true. A mom heard her own voice say, "You'll spill coffee on your left hand." She laughed while she made breakfast. And then screamed when she knocked over a boiling mug. A teacher heard, "You will say something you regret." That afternoon, she snapped at a student so aggressively she had to be written up. A man heard, "Don't go outside today." He ignored it. Went outside anyway. By evening, he was in the ER with a car accident. People called it creepy coincidence. But every night, at 3:12 a.m., the calls kept coming. And the predictions got darker. You will lose your patience. You will hurt someone accidentally. You will break something important. You will trust the wrong person. The whispers knew things no outsider could know. Things no app or algorithm should predict. And always with that final line. You will understand tomorrow. When Lindsay Butler ignored her call, the town changed forever. She was a 28-year-old nurse who worked night shifts. She came home at 2:50 a.m. Her phone rang at 3:12 a.m. from her own number. She stared at it. But didn't pick up. She was exhausted. She rolled over and went to sleep. The next morning, her bed was empty. House locked from the inside. Car still in driveway. Uniform draped on the chair. Phone on the nightstand. She vanished without a sign of struggle. The cops checked her phone. Her last call was from herself. And the message she received, fully deleted from the device, was reconstructed in the police lab. You ignored me. Don't do it again. People freaked out. A town meeting was called. No matter how insane it sounded. No matter how superstitious it felt. Fairview Ridge made an official rule. If your phone calls you in the middle of the night, you answer it. People started setting alarms for 3:11 a.m., just to be awake. Entire families would sit together, trembling, waiting for their phone to ring. Some nights it didn't. Most nights, it did. 16-year-old Eli Carter was a quiet kid. Loved biking, cameras, and old horror movies. He lived with his older sister Ruby after their parents died. His room faced the tower directly. He had a perfect view of the blinking red light. He was curious, not scared. Everyone else feared the calls. He wanted answers. Most importantly, he wanted proof. So one night, he set up his phone to record the call. Not the whisper. The entire call audio, both ends. At exactly 3:12 a.m. His phone lit up. Caller ID, Eli Carter. He hit record. Hit answer. And heard his own voice whisper. "Tomorrow, your sister will scream your name. But she won't be calling for help, she'll be calling for goodbye." Eli froze. "You will understand tomorrow." The call ended. He played the audio back. The whisper was exactly his voice, but wrong. Longer breaths. Smoother cadence. A copy trying too hard. As he listened, something horrifying happened. In the background of the recording. Behind the whisper. He heard movement. Footsteps. Like something shifting toward the microphone. But Eli never made those steps. The recording did. After the recording, Eli did something brave, or stupid. He decided to climb the hill and inspect the tower himself. At 2 a.m. he put on a hoodie, grabbed a bike light, and headed up the dirt trail. The closer he got, the quieter the world became. Cricket stopped. Wind stopped. Even the buzzing power lines felt muted. The tower looked normal, tall steel, blinking red light. But something was wrong. The base wasn't bolted into concrete. It was sunken into the earth. Like it had grown out of the ground, not been installed. When he shined his bike light up the structure, the metal looked slightly wet. Like skin after a shower. He backed away slowly. And when he turned around, the tower blinked twice. Not the red LED. The entire tower pulsed. Like something inside was breathing. The next evening, Eli couldn't sleep. He stayed close to Ruby, terrified of the whisper's prediction. As they ate dinner, Ruby suddenly let out a blood-curdling scream. "Eli!" He jumped up, heart racing. Ruby pointed at the living room wall where the family photo hung. It had fallen, shattering the glass frame. Ruby's hand was bleeding, cut by the shards. She wasn't hurt badly, just surprised and scared. But Eli realized. This must be it. This must be the moment the voice predicted. She will scream your name. And she did. But not from pain. Not for goodbye. She screamed because the picture, the one of them with their parents, had cracked perfectly across Eli's face. Like someone sliced it. Eli spent the whole night listening to the recording again. He slowed it down. Boosted the audio. Isolated background sounds. What he discovered changed everything. It wasn't footsteps. It wasn't breathing. It was static. Distorted radio static shaped like human noises. The whisper wasn't predicting events. It was setting them in motion. Forcing reality to match its message. The calls weren't prophecies. They were instructions. Orders. Reality scripts. And the more people believed them, the stronger they became. Eli realized the tower wasn't a machine. It was a transmitter for something sentient. Something that could mimic voices. Rewrite behavior. Nudge events. And if someone ignored the call, it erased them like a bad file. 2 days later, everything fell apart. At 3:12 a.m., the entire town's phones rang at once. Every single one. All from themselves. The scream started immediately. People panicked. Some tried to run. Some refused to answer. The ones who didn't answer, their houses went quiet. Dead quiet. Eli grabbed Ruby and forced her to answer hers. He answered his own. His whisper said, "It's time to come outside." He looked out the window. The tower was pulsing again. Slow. Rhythmic. Like a heartbeat. And the pulse was sinking. Perfectly. To the ringing phones across town. Ruby asked, "Eli, what does it want?" He didn't answer. He already knew. Eli had one plan left. He took his phone. Opened the recorder. And walked Ruby toward the hill. The tower throbbed brighter as they approached. The air tasted electric, like before a lightning storm. When they reached the tower's base, a panel on the metal slid open, smooth as a mouth. A warm gust of air blew out. Not mechanical air. Breath. Inside, organ-like structures pulsed, glowing faintly blue, like a biological machine. The tower wasn't a structure. It was alive. And it wanted them. Eli hit record. He shouted into the tower. "What are you?" The tower answered through his phone. His phone lit up. Caller ID, Eli Carter. The call connected automatically. His own voice whispered. "I'm not your future. I'm your replacement." Eli froze. The whisper continued, not trying to copy now, speaking with cold clarity. "Humans waste time predicting. I create." Ruby screamed at Eli to run. The tower pulsed violently, its light flashing like a seizure. Eli grabbed Ruby's hand and sprinted. Behind them, the ground shook. Something enormous shifted inside the tower, like a creature waking up. Phones across town rang again in a massive wave. The entire night vibrated. But Eli didn't stop running. They reached the tree line. And the ringing stopped. Silence. Pure, instant silence. When dawn broke, Eli and Ruby walked back cautiously. Fairview Ridge was empty. Cars abandoned. Doors open. Chairs knocked over. Food left on tables. Every phone was on the ground, screen cracked, battery dead. Except one. Eli's. Because his phone had recorded everything. The tower was gone. Not collapsed. Not removed. Just gone. Only a black circle of dead grass remained. Eli and Ruby were placed into witness protection. Government agents took his recording. Analyzed it. Classified it instantly. But before they confiscated the device, Eli uploaded the file. Saved it in multiple places. Because he knew the truth. The tower didn't disappear. It moved. To another town. Another hill. Another place where people wouldn't question a new signal tower. And when it arrives, your phone will ring. At 3:12 a.m. From your own number. And your own voice will whisper. You will understand tomorrow. Fade to black. If you enjoyed this story, make sure you hit like and subscribe, it really helps the channel grow. And if you've ever experienced anything strange, terrifying, or completely unexplainable, share your story in the comments. Who knows, your story might be the next one I tell.